So, number one, how did the British General Gage attempt to deal with the uprising in Massachusetts in 1774? He stationed 3,500 troops in Boston. From there, he ordered periodic raids in towns. Gun raids, powder were stockpiled, hoping to impose law and order by seizing them. Number two, explain Lord Dunmore's proclaims and its impact to the colonies. Lord Dunmore raised loyalist forces to combat the rebel colonists and also tried to use the large enslaved population to put down the rebellion. In November 1775, he issued a decree known as Dunmore's Proclamation, proposing freedom for enslaved people and servants. Number three, according to Thomas Paine, why is republicanism and what is the role of popular sovereignty? Citizens in the republic would determine who would represent them and decide their issues on biased majority rule. Republicanism also served as powerful philosophy and then struggle against the British Empire. It demanded adherence to code of virtue, placing the public good and community above narrow self-interest. Number four, the fundamental contradiction in the American Revolution does the Declaration of Independence reveal. The Declaration also reveals a fundamental contradiction of the American Revolution, the conflict between the existence of slavery, the idea that all men are created equal. And then question number five, describe the British strategy of the middle colonies and explain whether or not it succeeded. The American colonies were outnumbered and lacked both military experience and discipline. Sensing victory, General and Admiral Howe arranged a peace conference in September 1776 with Benjamin Franklin and John Adams in South Carolina. Baton Rouge represented the Continental Congress despite the Howe's hopes. However, the Americans demanded recognition of their independence, which the Howes were not authorized to grant, and the conference was disbanded. So I would say that it was successful. Why was the Battle of considered the turning point of the war? The American victory of the Battle of Saratoga was a major turning point in the war. This victory convinced the French to recognize American independence and form a military alliance with the new nation, which changed the course of the war by opening the door to badly needed military support from France. Okay, number seven, describe the British Southern strategy and its results. The British architect of war strategy, Lord George German, believed Britain would gain the upper hand with the support of loyalists, enslaved people, and Native Americans, and indeed the Southern strategy initially achieved great success. In your opinion, how did the colonists manage to triumph the Battle of Independence despite Great Britain's military? If any of those factors had been different, how might they have affected the war? So the British defeated at Yorktown, made the outcome of the war all but certain in light of the American victory. The Parliament of Great Britain voted to end further military operations against rebels. In April 1782, Benjamin Franklin and John Adams begun informal peace negotiations in Paris. Officials from Great Britain and the United States finalized the treaty in 1783, signing the Treaty of Paris in September of that year. The treaty recognized the independence of the United States, placed the western, eastern, northern, and southern boundaries at the Mississippi River. The Loyalists. Number 9, who are the Loyalists and how many estimated they exist? How were they treated during the war and what happened when the war ended? 20 to 30% of the 2.5 million of the population were considered to be Loyalist. And then they remained third party, content to continue with their daily lives as they could not be performing to engage in the struggle. That's how it was. What was the impact of the revolution on the enslaved people? While some enslaved people fought for the Patriots received for their freedom, revolutionary leaders, unlike the British, did not grant these allies their freedom as a matter of course. So, some of them didn't get anything. And then what were the role? Number 11. What role did the Native American play in the outcome? Powerful Native people who allied themselves with the British, including Mohawk and Creek, were also remained loyal to the Empire. A Mohawk named Jefferson Brant, whose given name was Thagard, rose to prominence while fighting in British during the Revolution. He joined the colony, led to during the 1777 campaign, which ended in suffrage. Where, in fact, the Treaty of Paris guaranteed the United States huge amounts of success. British owned religions that were actually native lands.